Good morning, community bankers. Welcome to Orlando and welcome to ICBA Live. I'm so happy to see you all here. You know, just a few things have happened since we were all together in Honolulu last year, and we've got a lot to talk about. Got a lot to look forward to and be excited about. But before I get into it, I want to call your attention to our theme, to a phrase you just saw in the video, here for good. I love this theme because it's beautifully simple in its truth. Community bankers are here for good. We are here to do good in our communities, and we're here for the long haul. You know, community banking is the purest form of economic development. Consider the simplicity. The impact of leveraging local assets, local deposits, into local loans. And it's not just the capital that's leveraged, it's real human capital. It's knowledge, it's relationships. The community banking model is about taking a set of resources and doing good with it. Taking a set of resources and multiplying the possibilities, amplifying the impact. It's amazing what you do. And ICBA is here to help you do more, to leverage your collective economic influence, to extend the reach of your efforts, to amplify what you're doing even further, to power your potential. And you might have noticed that we're projecting ourselves a little differently now. Over the course of the past years, we've put a tremendous amount of thought and intention into exactly who we are as an association, what we do, and how and why we do what we do. And just as community bankers have differentiated themselves in the marketplace, ICBA has worked to bring its own unique identity into sharp focus. We didn't just think outside the box, we decided to erase the box. And we're living our values as an association of community banking professionals like never before. With our mission guiding us, our voices clear, and our potential is limitless. You know, I think a lot about this concept of limitless potential and how we as an industry leverage this potential in a world of growing regulatory burden and hyper partisanship. And for me, it's about how we navigate through these challenges. Many of you know, I grew up in the mountains of northern New Mexico. They're so beautiful, so peaceful. And my mind goes back to them all the time, to making fresh tracks in the powder at Taos Ski Valley, or working in the garden, fighting the elements of the high mountain desert, and ultimately growing the most beautiful flowers and vegetables. Or hiking to Williams Lake, or all the way to the highest peak in New Mexico, to Wheeler. And these hikes carry so many lessons about perseverance, putting in the hard work to explore and find something beautiful, sometimes thinking you've arrived, only to turn the corner and realize how much further you still have to go to get to where you wanted to be. But the lesson I'm remembering right now is very specific, and one you can probably relate to. A quiet moment at the edge of a pond, skipping a rock, trying to get that stone all the way across that surface of perfectly smooth body of water. And as the rock skipped, watch the ripples it formed, watch them grow and overlap, and slowly transform the entire surface of the pond. I remember thinking, how powerful is this? This pond is large. And this little stone in my hand, well, it's so small. But now, if I'm being entirely transparent, it was typically my brothers and my dad that got the rock all the way across the pond, which would inspire me, because how could I let them win, to keep trying and looking for that perfect stone. But when I chose exactly the right stone, And when I focus my attention, pitch it at just the right angle, and exactly the right spin, can transform the entire body of water, the ripple effect. And that is what you do. You start with a simple transaction, you leverage that capital, and you start a chain reaction, creating a ripple effect through your communities. And as the ripples grow, they affect the entire country. This is the power of the ripple effect, the power of amplification. And just as your daily work sets off these powerful chain reactions in your communities, ICBA works to amplify that impact nationwide to everyone's benefit. And we do this with crystal clear purpose through our 3 pillars: advocacy, innovation, and education. And I'm excited to share with you just how those 3 pillars are supporting the incredible future of community banking. And one of the ways we bring our influence to bear is through our efforts in advocacy. Everybody may remember Live last year and what was going on. Amidst the fallout of Silicon Valley Bank, we stood firm, reiterating time and time again that SVB was not a community bank. We made it clear that community banking is different, and we fought to make sure community banks would not bear the burden of SVB or Signature Bank's mistakes. And those efforts paid off, with the FDIC's special assessment exempting community banks with less than $5 billion in assets, while proposed regulations targeted much larger institutions. And this translates to tangible savings for our members, enabling them to reinvest in what you do best, serving your customers and communities. And make no mistake, we've had a record number of new members joining ICBA, pointing directly to this effort as a clear indicator of value and differentiation. And we also made significant headway in our long-standing battle against the Consumer Financial Protections Bureau's Section 1071 Small Business Data Reporting Rule. Our request for expanded injunctive relief was granted nationwide, with the fight continuing in court. And despite Congress falling short of overturning President Biden's veto of a bipartisan resolution to nullify the rule, our relentless legislative campaign elevated our opposition to 1071 across Congress. And we will leave no stone unturned as we continue to fight this harmful rule. In addition to these victories, our influence extended to crucial policy areas, such as cannabis banking legislation, central bank digital currency restrictions, closing the industrial loan company loophole, and so much more. With our advocacy, we're playing a part in writing the future of our great industry. Like that inhospitable terrain on the path to Wheeler Peak, the political and regulatory landscape can seem daunting and certainly uphill. But when you push forward, you can accomplish great things. We can and will create a better tomorrow. And this, thank you. Yes, we will. And that brings us to our next pillar, education. Now, that climb to Wheeler Peak at 13,167 feet, to be precise, is no joke. But it offers a chance to look out across the entire Taos Valley. Now, many stop at Williams Lake, take time for a picnic, maybe even skip a rock in the pond. But the adventurers, the folks that persevere, climb the extra 2,000 feet to get to that pinnacle view. Simply said, it's magical. And education works in a similar way. It pushes us to the vista, and with that little extra effort, can take us to new heights. Through education, we can strengthen each other, achieve new opportunities, and leverage learning to experience even greater bank success. And for decades, ICBA Education has thought of itself as a facilitator, a team that connects the community bankers with the education they desire. The tools we create and promote through our incredible education team are nothing short of the building blocks for your future success. And we've repeatedly heard from our members that they lean on ICBA education to be a catalyst for greater learning while maximizing time and investment. But let's hear it directly from your peers.
I always joke that I'm one of the most ICBA educated people you'll ever find. I started with attending ICBA's Consumer Lending Institute when I was 21 years old, and I've been to more institutes than you want to hear me name off right now. But I think that every time I've gone, it's been worth the time spent away from the bank. It's been worth the money invested in the seminar, and it's been worth the travel expenses, because not only do you learn so much, but you're taught by community banking experts, you're surrounded by other community bankers that you can network with, and then the materials are focused at community banks. And so it's just such a focused education curriculum, and it's perfect for everyone at our bank.
That's one of the things they really excel at. So they just offer so many different ways to be educated. You can do it in person, you can do it online, you can do it in a seminar, you can do it all these different ways. So there really is no amount of education that we would need that we can't find that solution with the ICBA.
ICBA has a plethora of educational resources. It's amazing. It's one of the things that I think as an association they do wonderful at. I can't believe how much rules and regulations are just keep coming out. And I rely upon ICBA to be able to help me understand this, and then to distill it down to a manner that I can see how it impacts me and my community. And that is, like I said, very, very, very important.
It's like you see the ripple effect on display in those comments shared by Sean, Sarah, Mike, and Jill. And I also see how each of them use ICBA education in their own way to benefit their banks. Like them, each of us in this room has taken a slightly different path forward in our community banking career, right? And it's this banking career journey that is often a topic of conversation with our members, and that's why I'm excited to share the first official announcement of a new education product launching right here at ICBA Live. Our team heard from members. They wanted a tool, a resource to help explain to staff the different roles at the bank, identify the competencies needed for such roles, and help them in their overall career development planning. And with nothing like this on the market, the ICBA team went to work. So here at Live, ICBA Education is unveiling a professional development planner, a web-based tool that will allow you to improve the depth of knowledge and experience of your current staff and engage and retain staff for long-term growth. You'll be able to use the tool to further develop functional departments, enrich job descriptions, and access on-the-job learning activities. And for the individual banker, the tool lets you explore job functions and learn more about the necessary skills and competencies to work towards your career goals. To see it for yourself, connect with the ICBA education team at the ICBA Central booth in the Expo Hall later today. You know, as curious and dynamic professionals, we never stop learning. We never stop exploring. We never stop growing. Our journey is one that doesn't end, but it's one that can keep getting better by taking that extra step. And for many of you, the word innovation might be synonymous with technology. But I want to be very clear. Technology can play a role, but innovation is all about creative problem solving and new ways of thinking. It's about seeing past what is to what is possible. And that vision is something ICBA believes in and is investing in to help community banks navigate what comes next in their innovation journeys. Let's hear a little bit more.
Innovation is about solving problems, and looking at things in a new way.
We start with clear guidance from our community bankers on what challenges them on a day-to-day basis, what's strategic, what's top of mind, what's important for them. It's the community bankers who really give us that roadmap on what we should be looking for. So when we go out and we look at what we're doing from an innovation perspective, it's always with that touchstone in mind, that guiding light and that guiding set of principles that our bankers give us. It's always problem first, and then go out and find a solution that can address those problems.
And they bring to us a product from a technology standpoint that we can utilize in our banks to be able to be competitive. Just puts us on a level playing field.
We now operate and work with 18 different fintech companies that have partnered with our bank, and we've partnered with them to solve what I think are really basic strategic planning problems.
We were always searching and talking to our friends, but now we've got a committee of groups of banks from around the country that get together to vet these companies and come up with the best solutions for community banks. So it's something that just wasn't available to community banks prior to this. We were kind of on our own.
There's three very important things that a banker gets when they engage in something like our Think Tech Accelerator. First is knowledge, insight into how these solutions can address the challenges that the banks face. The second is a new set of relationships that they can lean into to help give guidance. And thirdly, we're raising the bar for all community bankers by doing this.
We've had so much success with our 12-week program, our individual programs. Now we've brought our programming in-house, and we're going to go year-round. And one of the cornerstones of that next step is starting in Atlanta, our Center for Community Banking Innovation.
That holds a lot of promise for us to be even more innovative and creative and collaborative.
The need for efficiency, doing things less expensively, doing things more securely, those are the driving factors of innovation, not just for community banks, but their customers as well. No one else innovates for community banks like ICBA.
Our next steps in this journey have us all excited. Now is the time to get involved and innovate for the future of your community bank. And if you're looking for a place to get started, sign up for a bank visit during our upcoming Accelerator program. You can register at icba.org/AP7. It's your feedback and your engagement that shapes this program and is invaluable to our work to advance community bank innovation and benefits not just your bank, but our entire industry. And if you're a member of ICBA, these tools, all of them, are here for you. They're here for your teams, for everyone in your organization. They're here to make sure that you, your bank, and your community will succeed. But you must take the effort. You must take the action. Erase that box and step outside. Are you worried about invasive regulation? Get involved in our advocacy initiatives. Stand with us. Let us amplify your voice to make a difference. Do you feel like maybe you're being left behind? Enroll in a course. Take it with your entire team. Earn a new certification. Lead by example and bring more knowledge into work with you tomorrow than you had yesterday. Is there a systemic challenge at your bank that you just can't seem to crack? Well, you're probably not alone. Someone on our innovation team or in their vast network of brilliant service providers might be working on exactly the solution you need. Reach out and find out what else could be done to modernize and stay ultra competitive. The tools are here, but you have to take that step. You have to take that action. You know that power of the ripple effect? Well, that stone ain't gonna skip itself. Folks, if you're at all like me, you spend a lot of time these days, or maybe not, watching or reading the national news. And it's not always something that makes us feel really great. Between constant government intervention, hyper-toxic partisan politics, global uncertainty, well, it's kind of exhausting. And it'd be pretty easy to fall into despair. But we don't, do we? No, because you all know, and I'm here to remind you and reinforce that we are here for good. Yes, there's a dark narrative out there and no shortage of naysayers. But when you think about where we get our energy and how we spend that energy, when we think about the power of the ripple effect, we know that we present a better narrative, a narrative where we lean into hope and we deliver and celebrate our victories, a narrative where we focus on helping our communities prosper. We are here to support our communities. We are here to tell beautiful and powerful stories. We're here to make a real difference in Washington. We're here to grow and learn as professionals. We're here to move our industry forward with exciting and creative new solutions. We are here to build a better tomorrow. My friends, we are here for good.